Well, for years now, basketball has been a global sport, and over the last few decades, the sport gained popularity in the Middle East, Asia, Europe, and Africa. And some of the game's biggest stars come from all over the globe. And now one man believes basketball could actually save the world. David Hollander is an associate professor at New York University School of Professional Studies. He's teaching a course right now entitled How Basketball Can Save the World, an exploration of society, politics, culture, and commerce through the game. I should say it's actually next summer is when you'll be teaching this course, right?
That's right.
So why do you believe that basketball could save the world?
You know, I think it has very special principles. The way the game is played, there's a balance between individualism and collectivism. There's an alchemy that solves problems between people, and it's always been, since it was invented, the sport of the other. Anyone can come from anywhere and find themselves in a new society through basketball. It's had that magic, not just in the United States, but as you say, all over the world.
So I think of basketball as such an American sport. How has it grown globally?
Well, I think it probably goes right back to the Dream Team, which was the most influential moment on the world stage. Opposing players taking photographs with the other players as they were being beaten by 40 points. But the truth is that it was always international. James Naismith was a Canadian who came to the United States, and this whole idea of basketball being a way to stay in shape positively for good became almost a missionary cause for gym teachers and coaches all over the world in the 1800s.
So what inspired you to do this course and create it?
Yeah, well, it's personal. It's personal and it's scholarship. When you look at the world and you see this battle between illiberal democracies and undemocratic liberalism, and we're trying to figure out why systems are broken, I think you can go back to some very basic cultural forms that all over the world, no one seems to have a problem with basketball. If I sit in a room and I find two people who, look at Kim Jong-un,
yes,
a closed society that won't let anybody in except basketball players. I bet you if Robert Mueller and Paul Manafort sat in a room, they might not agree on some things, but they'll enjoy basketball.
I wonder if Mueller plays basketball. I'd like to ask him that.
Well, I bet he'd be a pretty good point guard.
Oh, that's pretty funny. I want to ask you, though, a lot of people would argue that it's actually soccer that's the more global and international sport. We've got the World Cup, but do you think that soccer is being replaced by basketball?
Well, replaced, I wouldn't use that. Soccer is the most popular sport in the world. More people play it than anything else. But basketball probably has more influence. First of all, it's on every continent, it's everywhere. But it has had more to say about culture, commerce, sneakers, music. So I think basketball, and soccer simply has not reached that status in the United States. The United States is an important place in the world. So if you look at basketball, I think you'd find that there's a lower barrier to access. If I'm a kid and I want to play, I can just do it by myself. I just need a small court. Even the court itself is 90 feet, a soccer field is 100 yards. So I think it is fast becoming, it is definitely the most popular sport among young people in their digital lives. It's a phenomenon that I think can help us figure out a lot of different things.
How do you think that the WNBA and the NBA are helping to make this a global sport?
Well, the NBA is beloved. There are more people in China that consume the NBA than there are people in the United States. The WNBA, I think, has a ways to go in the kind of influence it can have, but certainly just its mere existence and the backing of the NBA and its power has given lots of young girls role models, normalized looks at bodies and faces that they might not have had if it didn't exist. It's been important.
And can I tell you, some of those WNBA games are so much fun to watch. They are such great athletes.
Well, they're the best athletes. They're the best basketball players in the world, period. You know, the United States women's basketball team has been the most dominant team sport team in any Olympic sport of
Really?
any Olympics. Yeah, they've won more gold medals by a greater margin than any other Olympic team sport, the women.
David Hollander, Professor, I want to thank you very much for joining us.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.